Welcome to yet another tale of Vaesen. I'm calling it Vaesen. I don't care if they said Vaesen, I'm calling it Vaesen. We're sticking with that. That's what we're doing. We're going to do things a little differently from here on out. Going by the book, there's a very distinct program you're meant to follow. You get your invitation, you prepare, you pick your journey, you arrive to your mystery. That's little plotting in my opinion. It gets kind of boring. If I were you watching it, I wouldn't want to watch people buying stuff with dice rolls. So we're going to avoid that.
I have my dice ready for that roll. I'm good. Talked to them. We've explained that we need some sixes from now on, and they seem to understand.
So instead of starting at Castle Gyllenkreutz, we are going to start in Stockholm. You have convinced Astrid to leave her writings and readings on various things macabre and occult, just to get some air, get some...
You need a vacation.
Yeah.
Some people have been coming around the castle that I don't want to deal with right now. Something about my auto warranty or something, and I just, no, I'm good. That carriage has got at least another 10,000 miles on it.
So you thought... It's not that far to Stockholm. There's the National Museum.
Yeah. And I need to see if there's a few key things that are actually in that museum that I don't think are really there. So now it's time to go find out.
And then for your part, museums, especially this National Museum, has not been around that long. So you're not expecting much. But you have learned that there is another individual in Stockholm who has started essentially it's a museum, but instead of the broader aspects, he is focusing purely on the folklore and past of the lives of people in Sweden. Because industrialization is taking grip, his fear is that all the ways that we did things years past, the way we dressed, it's all going to disappear unless someone captures it. So he and his wife has started the Scandinavian Ethnographic Collection. And you've been here probably 3 hours now. He seems to be enjoying himself. You, quite honestly, are growing a bit bored, considering nudging him about the ethnographic.
Are the three key pieces that I'm here to see, can I determine if they're actually real or if they are the fakes that I think they are?
Well, give me a learning roll.
Woohoo! All right, dice. Now remember, we had a discussion. You seem to be on board with it.
That's what I say.
So 2 logic. Two successes!
2.
And they had to have symbols. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Hey, that's a high water note for me.
One of the items here, it's traveled around quite a bit. The last time you saw it, it was actually in the museum in London. It is the sarcophagus of actually a Swedish knight, one Simon they've always kept it at arm's length, except for that one time when you got it within a breath of it without anyone knowing. And at that time you realized it had been opened, and there was an inscription that you're fairly certain a placard had been removed.
Okay.
Because the first part was still there. Forever cursed for coveting that which he was sworn to protect. That was this portion. There was a second one that should have been right next to it. It is blank. It is nothing there. And you can see markings. You're fairly certain something was there, and someone has surreptitiously removed it. So looking at this and seeing if anything else has been removed.
I'm journaling all of this in my notebook, and my opera glasses to get a better glass look at everything. And
you're finding it's a little awkward actually doing this because again, it's roped off, it's over there. So you have to pretend to tie your shoe, and with your opera glasses, you're going off a reflection over here. You can just see at the bottom portion of it. It looks to you, looks like someone has drilled a hole up through the bottom of it.
okay.
You do not recall that being there previously.
Okay.
And at that moment, as I live and breathe, you get up and there is, your eyes flick to her because this is one of those friends from your past that you're not too certain you want her around. This is Henrik Rast. And the last time you saw him, he was a bit down on his luck, the sort of fellow who would do just about anything for a bit of cold, hard cash. Now, on the other hand, he is quite well dressed, though he does look a bit haggard. Bloodshot eyes, looks a bit pale. But you see rings on fingers, very well dressed.
Oh, Mr.
Walking
Rast. It has been quite some time since I've had the pleasure of your company. I see that you've come up in the world.
My artwork has finally garnered a bit of attention. Managed to sell a few pieces here and there.
Well, congratulations.
Say,
This is my associate, Miss... Oh, I'll go ahead and have her first name.
Astrid von Lundstrom.
What's the last name?
Astrid von Lundstrom.
Von Lundstrom. This is my associate, Miss Lundstrom.
it's a pleasure, my dear.
Mr.
How
Rast
did-
here has made a living plying the art trade in oils, I believe.
That is correct. Tell me, how did this old rascal manage to charm you into believing he's respectable?
The jury's still out on that one.
No doubt, no doubt. Say, fancy that I should find you here. I've something that might interest you.
Oh, well. Then perhaps dinner tonight?
Dinner, I cannot.
Well,
But, he reaches into his jacket, pulls out a card. Say, 10 p.m.?
I believe, Miss Lundstrom, do we have any further engagements this evening?
We do not.
Yes.
He hands the card over, and before he releases it, he locks eyes with you, and then his eyes dart to that casket. You'll be most interested. I look forward to our meeting.
Good day.
And then with the tap of the cane, and he walks off. And that being aside, you're thoroughly bored of all this. This ethnographic collection seems far more in line with what the society would be interested in. You never know what they may have unwittingly collected. And you just so happen to know where it's located.
What time is it?
It's about 3 p.m.
Before dinner, let's go check out this ethnographic collection over here.
What exactly is an ethnographic collection?
It is something that I would much rather be looking at than what is ever in this museum right now.
Well, you've given me plenty of time and opportunity. I believe that I have learned all I'm going to learn for now. So let's be off to the ethnocentric gallery.
Ethnographic.
Yeah, that too. I'm sure it'll be highly entertaining.
You've been following this, as I said, so you are fully aware that it was began by Arthur and Sophie Haslis, and it's been gaining traction. Many are saying that they are collecting the true history of Sweden, and yet there are others, the naysayers, who would say that a good portion of what they are collecting is junk. And when you arrive at the address, your first thought is,
Junk?
do we have the wrong address? Because it's a home. It is not a lavish building. There is a sign tacked out front, ethnographic collection here. But this is not what you're expecting.
It's quite charming.
Yes, for a 2-story walk-up. But this is a museum?
Of sorts.
Color me intrigued. Well, I will hold the door open of the carriage for Astrid and help her down, and then proceed to knock upon the front door. Kane, tap,
The
tap,
door quickly opens.
tap.
You see what looks to be, you're guessing, a girl between the ages of 12 and 15. Strawberry blonde hair.
Good day, young and small person.
Ah, are you here for the ethnographic collection?
Yes.
Right this way.
After you.
I go on first.
Immediately, you're seeing they've got some makeshift mannequins with homespun dresses, the sort that you've actually not seen before, outside of picture books. And to your knowledge, no museum actually possesses. They might have, again, photos or facsimiles. This would appear to be legit, and any number of things. She very quickly, Father! Father! And from your footsteps above, and then coming down steps very quickly.
Are there any price tags on anything?
There are not.
It's weird. It's like a second-hand shop everywhere I look, and yet I see no prices on any of this.
You see a gentleman around, you're guessing between 35, 40 years of age. Forgive me.
Well, this is awkward.
Miss is.
Oh, miss. No, miss.
He rushes up, grabs your hand. It is a pleasure to see you again. He's looking around. You did not bring the little one?
I don't have a little one.
Notebook out.
You see,
I'm sorry, I don't believe we've met.
you are Astrid von Lundstrom.
I am?
She is.
2 years past, you stayed in this very house. Quite
Oh.
pregnant. If you must forgive me, my wife, Sophie, he glances at his daughter. No longer with us.
sorry for your loss.
But she enjoyed your stay.
I'm glad.
Oh, this is a bit awkward there, isn't it? Right, let us not dwell on the unknowns.
Well, I've got questions. So, how long did Miss Lunchroom visit the ethno... What is it you have here?
This, sir, is the Scandinavian Ethnographic Collection.
Ethnographic collection.
The aim is for a more grounded museum.
Okay.
You will see some items that say the National Museum that has brought items from elsewhere, still historically of interest, and yet not Sweden.
So everything here is homegrown.
Well, even the museum under the palace is all items of the monarchy. Named families, not you and I.
Yes. Okay.
So those little smaller people, the smaller items are overlooked and forgotten unless someone such as us makes an effort to collect it and bring it to the eyes of the masses.
And on the side, you let rooms?
Well, sir, to be quite honest, back then we were just beginning and anything to make a bit of money. And we were quite happy to have Miss Lundstrom.
I mean, she is quite the delight.
So if you'll forgive me, if you were not the husband.
Oh, no, I would be more like an uncle type figure.
The brother to the husband, then? We never met the husband. You said he was away.
I'm as curious myself as to how far away.
She is just like ashen, like pale.
Well, we can pursue further that later. So about the collection, Astrid was quite excited about visiting.
Are you still doing your researches into witchcraft?
Yes.
My Sophie greatly enjoyed speaking to you on those items. So is there anything in particular you're looking for? I mean, we have a bit of everything here.
It does seem that way.
I mean, if you look here, these hand-woven cloths. In this day and age, textiles are a big trade, being brought in or mass-produced, not hand-woven such as this. I don't want this sort of thing to be forgotten.
I'm sure it won't. Have you expanded your witchcraft?
Oh, no. No.
I think perhaps you should also look into wizardry. The two of them combined, I think, could be lucrative.
You must forgive me, just even the sound of your voice. It is good to see you. Just tell me, do the two of you have plans for dinner?
We have an appointment at 10 p.m. this evening, but before that, we are free to do with our time as we will, and I am quite interested in spending some of that time with you.
What say 7:30?
That sounds excellent.
Very good, very good. Clara, we'll need to have 2 extra places at the table. She seems very excited. Her eyes have not left you since he mentioned your name. You get the impression, even with his wife not here, he has spoken of you and your visit to her more than once.
I will take in the collection, however that's supposed to be done.
He has done his utmost to give it a sense of order, and yet just given the lack of space, it does seem somewhat antique shopish, where there's things on top of things, and you kind of have to move this to see that, and as some of the naysayers had pointed out, there are some just like scripts of cloth. This was, of a shirt from this age, but it's just, is it? But the effort, at least, he is quite serious.
Is there anything in here that is of any value to an outside source? Is there anything here worth stealing?
You do see, aside from all the cloth items and items made of wood, there are some bracelets.
Notebook comes out, some notes taken, some, hand drawings made.
Those are obvious Norse runes upon them. They could fetch a decent price.
I know some rune collectors.
All in all, you spend half hour, maybe an hour, depending on her comfort level.
She's ready
You
to
have
leave
no
this.
memory of this place at all.
Me thinking that she wanted to be here so badly, I'm like going along with it. Just yes, this
like
is.
once he says 7 and does the whole dinner thing, I'm like, I will excuse myself to go outside and wait until you're done.
I'll stay a couple minutes to be friendly and take note of these things, and then please excuse me.
But of course, so we can expect you at
7 o'clock,
Excellent, excellent.
and I'll head outside.
Hustle and bustle, and there are carriages and people walking past. Stockholm's quite busy.
Well, that was quaint. I don't really see, but I hope you got something out of that.
Let's just go somewhere.
Okay. We'll hobble down to a coffee shop, some kind of situation of that nature, and sit down and
There's
have
a
our
quaint
tea.
little cafe.
What
quite
is
nice.
it called? The Kernuckle? What
Stroopwafel?
is it? The Stroofwaffle? The tea thing we're supposed to do?
Fika.
Oh, yeah.
Fika? It's time for Fika!
It would seem there are many others who share your opinion as they're eating cakes, cookies, sipping coffee or tea. You find a nice little table in a corner away from everyone else, although it does have a nice view through the window to the street beyond. I believe you two are tea drinkers, are you not?
Yes.
Okay. So steaming tea is set before you. They give you both a stack of cookies and small cakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just the two of you and your fika.
She goes to pick up a cookie and then just throws it down. Takes a long drink of tea.
Astrid, would you like to explain? You seemed very interested in that particular establishment. I don't understand it, but I am sure that I'm missing something. But
It sounded very interesting to me.
he brought up quite a few things in the last couple of years that I'm unfamiliar with, and
Funny enough, I am too. Before we met.
oh, is this where you're going to open up and share?
Yeah.
Oh well, let me.
Apparently,
Then we'll take out my flask and pour a little into the tea. Get real comfy.
pour some as well.
Close the notebook.
Before we met,
After the orphanage.
after the orphanage, I was working on my writings, trying to make a name for myself. I had taken up with a woman named Britta. We lived together. We were happy. And one day I disappeared.
You went to go get milk and cigars?
Maybe. She came home and I was no longer there. And I was gone for 3 years. I have no recollection of those 3 years. I awoke in a cabin in the woods one day, made my way back to the nearest city I could find. And that's how I found out The last thing I remember was 3 years ago.
3 years just gone like that with no recollection whatsoever.
Yes.
And when did this occur?
I came back last year.
So within the time frame that this gentleman is speaking of
Yes.
is your lost time.
It appears so.
It does not seem that you stayed your entire 3 years in a small cabin in the woods.
Apparently not.
And Britta was a woman.
She was the one who published my writings.
So who's publishing them? That's not
I'm
important.
publishing them now.
Okay. Have you made contact with Britta since your return?
I have not.
Is there a reason? If she was so important to you?
What am I going to say? I was
I
gone
found
for
the
3
milk.
years.
Back. I mean, she publishes those writings, correct? The writings that I am familiar with?
The writings that I had written before.
The ones
The
that are
ones that
about
I'm currently working
demons
on.
and witchcraft. And I mean, if she
Yes.
is open to publishing that kind of material, I think she may be open to, 3 years of... If you disappear for 3 years now, how long should I hold on to your belongings before...
You have to ask her. I don't know how long she waited.
Where is she? Where was the last you saw of her?
Up north.
What is it that I can do as your friend to comfort you as we move forward?
Nothing right now. I guess I should probably find out what I did here and how far pregnant I was.
Well, I consider myself your friend, and I will do everything within my power to help you. But I also do not wish to overstep any boundaries that you wish to set to make yourself comfortable. If you wish, I could look into your time that you are missing. I know individuals who would very likely be able to, as long as you were involved in the normal world, not some of the other things that we've involved ourselves in.
I think it's the other things that we've involved ourselves in is why I'm missing the time.
Okay. Well, that I don't have as many contacts with. But in this world, especially this area, I know a gentleman or two who have their fingers on the pulse of Stockholm that I would be more than happy to meet with and discuss and see if they might be able to pull up any of your movements during that time that you don't remember, how you arrived in the city perhaps, where else you might have stayed. Are you comfortable having this dinner tonight with this man?
Yeah, I think I would like to know what little he can tell me.
It seemed like you had a very positive impact upon his life. He seems to think very highly of you. And even his daughter, who must have been incredibly young at the time, seems taken with you. I've grown immune to those charms, of course.
Naturally.
But it seems to have stuck with them in a way that is poignant in their life. So if you're comfortable, then I say that we should follow that. And I understand that this is an area for you that is probably quite uncomfortable. But do keep in mind that in their minds and in their memories, this was a positive and happy affair, it seems. So, he's lost his wife. Do we know if she died or if she just left him because of that stuff? Well, maybe.
I was too shocked to ask really anything.
Okay. Well, I will just finish with now, and stiff upper lip. It's in the past. About 2.5 years old. All right, something to consider. Very well.
Cuckoo clock goes off. The sound being so different from everything else in the room and from outside, it gets your attention. You glance up, and you see it's in the form of an owl. Its eyes shift back and forward.
Yes.
Excuse me.
And then something seems to catch in the clockwork because it stops with the eyes watching the two of you.
That did seem peculiar.
Mm-hmm.
Since when is it a cuckoo and owl?
It's cuckoo. It's never owls.
It was an owl, right?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Seems to be a theme in our lives.
Yes.
I mean, just going forward, uncle, associate. What do we want to define our relationship to the mundane peoples of this world?
Whatever you're comfortable with. You're the one that's more hung up on these titles.
I mean, I prefer associate, but
Associate is fine.
You know, and then what they infer from that is up to them. But I don't want you also to think that you're being looked down upon if they think that you're my secretary or something of that nature. I see you as a partner in things strange and peculiar.
I as well.
And if you wish to have lady friends over to the castle, of course, I would not judge that. Just let me know, and I will make arrangements to go see a play that night. Maybe Mr. Frisk would like to get out. In fact, I think Mr. Frisk needs to get out. Okay. Well, aren't these cakes delightful?
They sure are.
It is now about 4 p.m. Do you have anything in particular you wish to do in the remaining 3 hours before you head back for dinner?
Well, you've had the shock. I don't know. Is there anything?
I'm just along for the ride at this point. Well, he wants to go back to that museum? Sure, let's go.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I assume we're staying for a couple of days here. Do we have a hotel or something?
Yes.
You want to head back to the hotel? I've got to meet with some associates and individuals that are not pertaining to those sorts of things that we normally do.
I'll sit at the hotel and start writing.
Regular writing, or is your eyes going to flutter in the back of your head? And...
She's still debating right now.
I am going to go to a bookshop or a library.
Okay.
And I am going to track down the works of Miss Lundstrom's early work.
Okay.
Find the name of publishers, houses, anybody that's involved with it. And now I'll be looking into the name Britta in particular. And if I can find any further names or associations with that name, or if she's a publisher or whatever, and start my research into that in a second notebook that I keep on my person.
A second notebook.
A second notebook, one that doesn't come out very often. And see what information I can start finding on this matter. Because uncovering secrets is my motivation. And this one has been dropped into my lap, so...
National Library. There in Stockholm would probably be a good place to begin. You find...
Is there any little pastry shop that might have some kind of small edibles, chocolates, anything of that nature? I'm going to pick up just a little thing of that,
Okay.
and then make my way to the National Library. Instead of going just digging around, I'm going to go straight to the circulation desk and look for a librarian of about 45 to 60 years of age if I can, preferably female, but whatever will get the job done. I'm looking for a type.
As luck would have it, there is a female, and you're going to guess her to be about 50 years of age.
Perfect. We'll walk up with Kane and make sure that I have flattened down my suit coat and vest. And excuse me, may I have a moment of your time? I am researching a project and looking for some of my skills.
Absolutely. How can I help you?
Well, I am looking for the writings of a particular authoress by the name of Lundstrom von Lundstrom.
She pulls out
A. V. Lundstrom. I believe her work is in New Age, folklore, the fringe sciences.
I see. If you would like to have a seat there, I can see what I can find.
Please and thank you. Appreciate it so very much. I take my hat off and.
How many volumes would you say were produced?
Probably 4. 2 of like the regular research type and 2 of the crazy, insane, free writing type.
It's about a half hour of you watching people come and go.
Oh, it's a very, it's a pastime that I enjoy quite a bit. It's all home stuff, but it's always wrong.
But at last, she returns with...
A stand?
Appears to be 4 volumes in her arms.
Oh,
It would seem Miss von Lundstrom dealt with both factual and theoretical.
oh. Well, let's take a look at these then.
Do you require anything else at the moment?
Well, I have a few questions, and if your time is free,
She glances back. I appear to be... no, please.
please, and I'll pull out the chocolates or pastries that I have purchased and put them on the table. Please, feel free. And so, I'm looking. Looking at these. These are these appear to be first prints and whatnot. And are you
Absolutely.
familiar with this publishing house?
She pulls her glasses up. Yes. I don't believe they're around any longer. It was a short run. A handful, apparently I was unaware of these volumes, but they did some works of fiction that did not particularly sell well. In my opinion, had they stuck with, and she gestures to the 2 research tomes, had they stuck with something along these lines, they might have been more successful.
Okay.
The fanciful only appeals to a certain number of individuals.
Oh, would you happen to know where this publishing house was seated? Where its foundations are?
I do. It is actually... are you familiar with Kalmar?
I have heard of it.
It is south of here. It was there that the Prospero House publishing existed when it did. I believe, if you'll give me a moment, I could probably find you what was the address, if that's of any interest.
I would be most grateful, and honestly, I would wait many minutes for your return.
Give me a manipulation roll, please.
Well,
Laying it on thick.
2. That. I'm gonna push it.
What are you doing differently?
I am after just going with that. I'm gonna go. So how long have you been involved in the library? It seems that your knowledge outside of just the mundane finding a book pertains to knowing about the publishing houses. Are you an authoress yourself? Well, I'm going to take some penalties now. Appears that the dice were only going to help me once, and then they were done.
That was a really bad roll.
You've now suffered a mental condition.
Okay.
What do you think that's going to be?
Well, we got angry, frightened, hopeless, and broken. I don't know that.
I mean, broken's not one of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, broken is just you're done. Angry, frightened, or hopeless. Well, I mean, I'm not going to be angry with her, and I'm not necessarily going to be frightened, so I guess it'll be a version of hopeless. More sad dog than than truly hopeless, but yes.
I've dabbled from time to time. No serious writing. If you'll give me a moment, I'll get that address for you.
Thank you.
That was like 4 ones.
It was a lot of ones. I'm going to go say no to those. This didn't do me any favors.
She returns with a slip of paper. As I said, I know it doesn't exist any longer, but that does not mean that the building does not. Perhaps there'll be those nearby that may know more about what befell the publishing house.
You have been an incredible help today. This is a mystery that has been brought before for me, and I am looking into the different avenues of what happened and transpired with that particular publisher. And I am very interested in discovering who holds the rights to their published materials and their old library and catalog. So you've pushed me in the right direction, and for that, I will be eternally grateful.
The pleasure was mine. Should you need anything further, right at the desk.
All right, so that's enough for me hogging that. So I'll write down the information about where they're located and that sort of thing. In those 4 books, do I find the name Britta anywhere as having anything to do with this? I'm going to check the dedications, if there's an afterwards, if there's any editors, anything like that listed in these works to see if that name pops up. And any other names that might be repeated as well to take note of.
Pretty much every one of them says original works by Astrid von Lundstrom, collated by Britta. What was her last name? Can't remember if we decided or not.
We didn't.
Okay.
Just give her one.
That's fine. So, but that name is popping up in all the stuff and all the 4 volumes, and so that gives me what she's already told me, but gives me more insight.
And in each one, there was a dedication quote. Just says, "May what is lost be found."
And is that noted to anybody in particular?
It is not.
What? Okay, well, spend enough time doing that. Back to the hotel. That notebook securely put away.
So did you do your normal writing, or did you choose to open yourself up and see what the spirits had to say using your hand?
Choosing to open myself up.
Oh. Better make that roll.
And what was it?
I believe it was a observation roll. Oh, I'm sorry, inspiration.
I'm gonna push.
What are you doing to push it?
Drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. The old specialty.
2.
I can just see this if it were filmed. You start off, you can't relax, so then you break open your satchel, you get the herbs out, you start mixing it, you make the tea, gulp it down, and then it kind of zooms into your eyes as your pupils go. And then that hand just begins by itself to move. And as you're watching this, it is a description of an island. On the night of the Sabbath, we do gather. in the great house in the middle of the meadow. We bring the young ones so that they might sacrifice for our future. We call forth the owls. And under their watchful eyes, we give ourselves to the devil. And as you're writing it, you can actually, you're visualizing it, you're seeing it, you can hear actually the water lapping on the surf. And you can see dark forms dancing all around you. There's a large fire. You can't see any true details. But then there's one very large horned form that seems to just rise up. And you feel a bit of panic. Your chest starts to tighten in fear. And when you turn, there's a wall of trees behind you. And one by one, you're seeing pairs of eyes, all of owls, watching you.
Did I recognize the figure?
Did not. When you get back to the hotel room and open the door, you find her out on a writing desk. There's tea tipped over.
I was gonna say, do I see that stuff?
Yes, you can smell it. It has quite the aroma. And also you can see the inkwell toppled over, and ink is starting to spread over whatever it was she was writing. Still has a quill in her hand.
I quickly close the door behind me and rush over to Astrid's form and gently smack her cheeks. Astrid, and until she comes to, it'll become a little more aggressive with eventual pushing and Astrid.
Finally, you're roused. Your focus finally comes, and you see him looming over you.
I'm up.
This is Astrid, you do bring great worry into my life, and trust me, I live a life of great worry. Here, let me help you with these things. I'll pick up the knocked over vial and take the pin from her hand. And do we have a pitcher of water?
Oh yeah, need water. I'll show you the ink stained paper.
Is there anything on it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Thankfully, you got there just in time. The writing table, on the other hand, is probably going to be stained henceforth, but the paper itself just got to the edges and hadn't actually got to where, her writing yet.
I hand it to you.
Put on my glasses, turn up the light a little bit, and see if I can make anything out of what's being said. Please sit down.
I sit.
It would appear to be a first-person account of
island and children, and
both of you give me a learning roll.
Dun, dun, dun. I believe I'm at -1 because of my hopeless puppy dog status.
What is your memento?
It is a technically it's a cat,
yes.
but it is a in my watch. The flip top is a little watercolor portrait of the cat.
That's so cute.
Poe. And when I get too frustrated, I will occasionally pop it out and just meditate and think about Poe and being a cat.
I got 1 success.
We can say you managed to take a moment to yourself, just flipping that open, seeing his visage, and that kind of calmed you, so the condition's gone.
Yeah.
1 success! A whole lot of dice.
Back during the 1600s, during the witch scare, the Great Noise, as they call it here in Sweden, when all the trials took place, it was said that there was an isle that the witches would go to during the Sabbath. They would kidnap children and take them there to give to the devil. The isle's name was Blacula, and while the descriptions given do not match the actual island at all, it's now known as the Blue Island, or some still call it Blacula. It is most easily reached from the shores of Kamla. But of course, that was just hysteria and a witch scare.
I mean, to most people that might be the case, but to the members of our society, I'm sure that we don't see it that way. I will make sure the ink is dry before folding it over and putting it back into whatever Astrid uses as her writing desk, table, book, novel, whatever.
Satchel.
And put that away. Now, how are you feeling?
Strangely better now. Calmer, anyways.
Feel a calling to go to this isle? Or is this...
Would it influence me like that? No, not particularly.
Okay.
No, because at this point, at least, you've not encountered any individuals, human individuals, with any sort of abilities beyond the sight like your own. It's always been different, various types of Vaesen that could do certain things. The idea that witches could be real, you hadn't actually considered that.
Okay. Add that to the creepy things that we deal with.
The ever-growing list.
It does seem to be working in pencil.
Is there anything in particular you wish to do in the remaining couple of hours before you head to your dinner date?
Do you wish to beg off this dinner date?
No, I'm fine. I can go unless you don't want to.
Oh no, I am. Yes, I'm more than happy to take a free meal.
Okay. Well, I'll just rest until it's time to leave.
She's resting. Anything you wish to do?
I think I've spent plenty of time doing my research for the day. Yeah, I think for right now I'm good. We got 2 other things going on this evening, so I'll catch a quick nap and sort myself out.
Okay. Then all too quickly, the hour arrives. You ready yourselves, head out on the streets back to the home of Mr. Haslius. Back to that wonderful bit of history.
Yes. The scraps of cloth are very interesting.
You arrive, knock upon the doors, quickly opened, this time by Arthur himself rather than his daughter. The smell of some sort of grilled meats is meeting your nose. Please, come in, come in.
Thank you.
May I take your coats?
Please, thank you so much.
I don't know if you remit. Well, right through this doorway, is the dining area.
Make my way. You don't remember any of this. Mm-hmm. So you don't remember if he's any good at cooking. Let's hope.
Clara comes through a doorway carrying a large plate of piled meat. It's steam.
Miss Claire, do you need a hand with that?
No, thank you.
I'll hold the door.
You're very kind. She places it down on the table, sees you, and rushes back through that same doorway. Please, have a seat. And between the two of them, they're bringing various dishes out. They say a quick grace and then allow the meal to begin. And you can tell, both of you, he's not sure how to approach this. He obviously thinks he knows you, but you are showing no recollection at all, so he's not sure how to broach any subject, really. So tell me, what did is this your first time in Stockholm?
Oh, no. No, I visit fairly frequently. Like to keep my nose in the air about things, see what's going on.
What is your trade?
Well, mainly research.
You're an academic.
Yeah, well, as a pastime, I'm retired. So now my time is my own, and me and Miss von Lundstrom travel, learning about different things that we can, and the history of this fine land. And that is what brought her back to this museum.
Really?
Yes.
Something you're writing currently, something
Oh,
within these walls can aid you?
treatises and monographs are nonstop. Different small presses, different academia, clubs, meetings, things of that nature. We've been recently to, and I'll name the actual legit places that we have traveled to in our studies and recent comings and goings.
That's all fascinating. Obviously, whatever I can do, I shall.
Thank you.
It's honestly, to have someone of your knowledge to call upon in the future through telegram or letters, to have a specialist in the history of the land such as you could be potentially a great coup for us. So this means quite a bit that you opened your home and your museum to us. So thank you. Thank you kindly. Now, if you don't mind, I am anxious to see what has been prepared for this evening's meal. It smells delectable.
You all dig in. It's actually quite good. You're actually a little taken aback. You were expecting...
But I'm used to cold sandwiches from Frisk at this point, so
True.
yeah, this is all good for me.
It's a awkward meal. You seemingly being the one doing the majority of the talking. He reciprocates immediately, of course, but again, he just doesn't seem to know how to... He keeps glancing at her and wanting to say something, and he doesn't know how or what to say. And then Clara, his daughter, is just zeroed in on her. Every time you glance her direction, she immediately smiles, but mouth full or whatever she's doing.
After a bit, I will just start by smiling at her, and then I'll look at him and say, I am very sorry, but I cannot recollect any of my time here previously. I would be grateful if you could tell me about my visit.
Lowers his voice a bit. Are you ill?
No?
Of course. So, you... Well, first, Clara, get the strawberry pie. She quickly excuses herself, goes back through that same door from before, quickly comes out with a strawberry pie serves each of you a good sizable piece. So, as he drives a fork into that first piece of pie, when you came to us, we were really just beginning. So to supplement the endeavor, I thought it might be best to use a spare room and open it up to anyone in need. And lo and behold, you were upon our doorstep, some 5-6 months pregnant. You said your husband, the father of the child, was away on business, and you were not one to stay home and do nothing, so you wanted to continue your writings and do your research, and that is what brought you to Stockholm. And you said being here with us amongst our meager collection was a breath of fresh air compared to the pomp and circumstance of the rest of Stockholm, which I might say made both of us quite proud. You and Sophie got along quite well. She had often thought perhaps we should have another child, and having you in the house. He glances at Clara. Well, let's not talk about that. As I recall, you were researching the witch trials, witchcraft in general. We didn't have much in regards to that here, but this did serve as a good point for you to go to the museum or to the library, wherever. I'm not one to pry, so I'm not sure where precisely you went. But being here, the Katarina witch trials took place here, so I believe that was the main element of your research here. You had mentioned something about Kalmar. But on all, the great noise was your primary bit of research. And then you would help Sophie and I out from time to time as well. Again, all very much appreciated. It was like having Sophie was an only child, so for her it was like having a sister here in the house. It was quite nice.
I'm glad I could bring some comfort. I apologize for not being able to recall.
Clara, Father? She gestures toward the stairs. May I? He gives her a nod, and she quickly excuses herself and dashes up those steps. She still has the charm that you gave her. So, you've no memory at all of this? What then brought you here today?
We have been traveling, working, and we decided to just take a couple of days and leisure.
I had heard of some new collections at the Stockholm Museum that I wanted to take in. And while I was there, taking some notes and looking over the exhibits, Ms. von Lundstrom here brought up this place. She had heard about it in an article. One of the newspapers had mentioned it and seemed excited to visit. And while I'm glad that she pulled me away from that particular establishment to come see this.
I must say, I'm glad you came.
If I could be so forward, The room that Miss von Lundstrom stayed in, is that still a room? Could we see it?
Actually, it's Clara's room now.
Oh, okay.
She was quite young at the time, so she stayed in our room.
Okay.
But if it would help,
maybe it would jog some of your memory, if you're comfortable.
It would hurt as long as she's okay with it.
If it's okay.
both of you make a observation roll.
Do, 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 do.
1. Took another
None.
4 ones.
The entire time you've been here, your senses have been just wired. Every sound, every creak of the wood. You're wondering, have I heard that before? Is it completely new? So you listened as she dashed up the steps for any irregular sound, the creaking of the steps. Do you remember any of that? No. You could hear her above, walking, and then there was an odd sound that made no sense. At first you thought perhaps she was dragging out a chest or something, but it was very sudden, the sound, and then nothing. And there's been no sound since. She has not yet returned. Well, once she comes down with that charm, I'm sure we could all go up. You could take a look, see if anything unlocks the memory, perhaps. Clara, hurry up now.
Since that time, have there been any strange occurrences?
He glances at the steps. I don't like talking about it around Clara. As I told you, your presence made Sophie want another child. She became a child and died, attempting to give birth.
Sorry to hear that.
I don't like bringing it up to Clara. Clara! Hurry up, girl!
Perhaps you should go and check on her.
Yes, forgive me. I'll be but a moment. Gets up. Heads up the steps.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
This is strange, even for what we do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm here for you.
Thank you.
I mean, I can only guess at how many unknown children I have throughout the world. I assure you, it's probably more than one.
You now hear
In my younger days,
what you're
known to get about.
His footsteps very quickly. Clara?
I have a feeling that things are about to go poorly.
I will. Don't want to speak for you. Go upstairs.
She goes upstairs much quicker than I do, so I'm going to stay put for right now.
You head up, and again, nothing is at all familiar. No memories jogged, but just following the sound and the breeze, because there are only two rooms up here. The one on the right, the door is open. That is where the sound is coming from, and you enter. It is a small bedroom, obviously that of a girl, due to some of the decorations. The window is thrown wide open. That is the breeze you were feeling, and he turns and sees you. She's gone. What have you done?
I haven't done anything.
That is a 2-story drop onto brick. There is no purchase to climb.
I understand that. I will look out the window.
In the darkness, there's a few silhouetted figures out on the street. The gas lights giving their flickering glow, but there's no sign of Clara anywhere. And much as he said, this is not really climbable.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it just like a straight? Okay.
And a leap would no doubt break bones. What? I don't understand.
I don't know where does she keep that charm?
He goes over to a set of chest of drawers. There's a small chest jewelry box. He opens it and starts there's little trinkets, little straw rings and whatnot. He's tossing those aside. And then brings up a leather cord with you're not sure what the metal is. Looks like it might be gold, possibly silver. But he holds it out to you, and you can see it is a single band of metal. It's only about this big, but it has been bent to form the ears and eyes and nose of an owl. This, you gave her this, said it would watch over her for all of her days. He goes back to the window and is looking out. Clara!
Oh, run.
You hear him yelling this now.
I'll run downstairs and tell him she's disappeared.
You'll find me in whatever room the rune-covered bracelets were in, getting a good look at those with a little eyepiece and writing down the stuff. And then if I hear footsteps coming, I will quickly put that away and just act as if I'm perusing the collection and staying out of their way.
Just for giggles, Astrid, give me an observation roll.
Two.
What the hell?
All too quickly, you take steps 2 or 3 at a time, heading back down. So when you rush, he's not in the dining room. You can see a flickering of shadow. You go around a corner and see he folds something and puts it in his jacket.
Give him kind of the eye. She's missing. The pendant I gave her was an owl.
What is with the owls and how did the child go missing? It's like a 2-story thing up there.
Yeah,
You
she's
see
freaking out. He
front of this
said
house,
that
if someone were to break into the second story, it would take a secondary man of quite. Well, never mind. It wouldn't be easy.
The window is open.
And we think that she. There.
You hear his
Astrid,
heavy
there
footsteps coming down the
was
steps. Forgive me. She has no memory of ever having been here, and yet she was like a sister to my wife. She returns, and now my daughter is gone? Can you explain this?
Well, of course I cannot. I've never been here before. I don't know your daughter that well. I don't know what have driven her to do such a rash action. However, I'll step out to the front and see if there's a splattered body.
There's not.
Okay. Well, then I think perhaps it would be in our best interest then to look for Sarah and see if...
Clara.
Clara, close? Those runes are valuable. I think other things on my mind. So perhaps let's seek out Clara. Let's call the police. Let's see where she might have run off to.
Yes.
Time is of the essence.
He rushes out, starts yelling up and down the street for her name, and before long, there is a officer wanting to know what the commotion is, who approaches. It happens about 100 feet away. You can just see via the gaslight and what little moon there is. He's gesturing wildly, pointing back at the house, pointing at the two of you. You see the helmeted head of the officer turn your direction. Puts a hand on Archer's shoulder and then starts marching your direction.
While he was out doing all of that, I wanted to go up to her room and see if I could see anything like claw marks or scuff marks that from her feet, anything that I could see.
Owl
maybe.
feathers.
Yeah.
Give me an investigation roll. Both of you, if you're both looking.
Yeah, I am going to help with that.
I'm gonna push.
What are you doing differently? Actually, you know what? That's a Cthulhu thing. Cthulhu has pushing as well.
Oh, okay.
So when you're pushing Cthulhu, you have to do something different. It's not the case here.
Yep. Is that mental?
Yep.
Okay. I will be frightened.
1 success.
1 success.
Yes. Out of 7 dice.
Looking about the room, you're not seeing anything that could...
As I'm searching, I will be talking as well. Astrid, the most recent thing that has come across our studies has been about witches, an island, taking of children. Is there any possibility this pertains to a witch cult stealing a child and somehow perhaps having to do with the fact that you knew the kid?
Could be.
Do you have a magnifying glass? Is that...
I do.
Okay.
Well, I have it's not a magnifying glass. I have a jeweler's loop kind of magnifying glass, so it's pretty small. But yes, I use it in the exact same way that a magnifying glass would be used.
Nothing within the room really catches your attention as being odd or awry. The windowsill, on the other hand, is white, and yet there are sooty fingerprints on this side, on the inside, as though someone from the outside had gripped it thusly.
Okay.
And the prints are not those of a grown man. More like a small woman or a child.
And you said sooty. Knowing that, I'm going to lean out a little bit to see if there's any marks of somebody could have climbed this and got that, or is there a chimney nearby?
I mean, this building has a chimney.
Gotcha. Try to come up with where the soot would have come from. That's what I'm trying to discover. So I will give the loop to Astrid and point out these markings here. Looks to me to be fingers from the outside coming in.
And with that roll, I will go ahead and say you also uncovered, she apparently is someone who keeps a diary.
Of course.
I'll show you the owl charm too while
Well, I'll pocket a diary. Get a chance to look at that later. And then at that point, start to head downstairs because there's nothing else I think that we're finding upstairs. And about that point,
By that time, the officer and Archer have re-entered the building. Hello there. Well, might I have your names?
Of course. After you, ma'am.
Master von Strom.
He has a notepad, writes that down. And you?
Egil Renberg of the Renbergs.
Your trade, sir?
I am retired.
Former trade?
Investigation academia.
Are you linked to any university?
Well, I have been, and I will start naming off a bunch of United States of America universities, a couple in England, and one in France.
Mr. Haslius says you were visiting for dinner?
He had invited us into his home for dinner after we had come over this afternoon to view the collection.
I see.
The young girl excused herself to go get a charm that was presented to her many years ago by my associate here, but we heard some noises upstairs. You can hear feet where they're at. We did hear as if something had been pulled or manipulated, but unfortunately, when we went to go look for her, we found a window open and no presence of this child.
Mr. Haslius says that you were acquainted with him prior, yes?
Yes.
And yet, you've no memory of this acquaintance.
Yes.
But you're here now.
Yes.
And his daughter is not.
Yes.
Are the two of you married?
Oh, no. No.
Related at all?
Nope. Just associates.
Under what business?
Academia.
Academia again. Are
Hence
you
why we visited this locale this afternoon.
so
after
you're not
visiting
native to Stockholm?
No, you'll find us currently habitating in Uppsala at Castle Grindenkolting.
Castle Gillenkreuts, how do you spell that?
Yes. That's my associate will handle that.
All right, then, let's have a look at this room. I'd like all of us to take a look, if you don't mind.
Oh, no. Anything
and
we
now
can do
I'm
to be
at
of
it,
service. Time,
Where are you staying currently?
the hotel, Stockholm.
You all head back up to the room. He's looking around, picks up the little rug in the room, looking out the window. Does he actually notice? Does not. You say she's never tried climbing out this before? No.
I would hope not. It's a precarious perch at best. I don't know that a mountain goat could make its way up through this area.
Have you checked the rest of the house? What? She could be hiding. Children like to do that. Have you checked the rest of the house? What? Clara! Starts going through the rest of the house, yelling her name.
Clara, the game's over. It's time to come out now.
Happens a lot. Kids wanting attention, do something like this.
Well, she's an only child. Her mother's gone. She's just here with her father in this museum. I don't think she has a lot of friends. She did seem quite eager to please and to show us the items. So,
what was the item?
it was a charm. Back to its. Where is it?
That one.
Owls. Good at catching mice, I guess. Girl that age might keep a diary. He starts lifting the pillows, looking underneath the bed.
Look under the mattress.
Guess not this one. Finally, Arthur returns. She's not here. I'm telling you, she's not here. All right, then.
Have there been any children going missing as of late?
Make an observation roll.
I like how he keeps saying the words make when it's just like he's just kicking me. Like, ha ha! Go ahead and make that. I dare you.
2.
1! Together that's 3, and honestly, that's pretty darn good for us.
You say that, and he kind of makes a face.
Constable, sir, has other children gone missing in this area?
Been a few boys disappeared, though the belief has been that they've simply run off.
How old were they, if you don't? I have many questions. Academia, I'm sorry, it just runs in my blood, but how old were these boys, approximately?
Range from 8 to 12, I think.
And were any of them taken from areas that would have been difficult, such as this?
This is the first time something like this has happened. In those cases, it's just a matter of come morning, go to wake them up, they're not there. Just assume they snuck out, which is what I firmly believe, mind you. This being the exception.
My short time with Clara does not make me think that she is a rash little girl who would...
Might she have had a rope? No. I'm just saying. Not many handholds. Might need a rope or something. Do you have any friends? Someone might have helped her. No, I heard. I'm sad to say that her life largely revolves around helping me with our endeavor. Not a lot of friends. All right then. I'll get some boys on it. We'll search around. But I can tell you, if this is anything like the other disappearances, I wouldn't get your hopes up, I'm afraid to say. And then he leaves.
Sir, my good man. What just transpired I assure you, I will put all of my abilities into locating your daughter. This won't be treated as some simple case. You are now a friend of mine, and with that comes a duty to myself to do everything I can to track down and locate your daughter and bring her home safely. To this you have my word. No stone will be left unturned.
How can I help?
For now, we are going to take this evening to begin investigation.
What does that mean? What do we do?
You will sit here and wait, in the hopes that perhaps she returns on her own volition and will be wanting to have a time to speak with her father and to be made to feel safe. In this instance, we are going to look into the strange and peculiar.
What does that mean?
It means that, without giving away too many of Miss von Ludstrom's secrets, at least the few that I've become aware of, her studies have shown that things of this world can be strange, macabre, and scary. And I'm afraid that perhaps one of those things has grown attached to your daughter.
You're saying she's in danger?
I believe so. So, it is in all our best interests, including Clara's, for us to get busy now. So please excuse us so we can get down to business. This is what we do. And our track record is pretty good.
He clasps your hand. Thank you.
You're truly welcome. Now, steel yourself. For what comes next may be truly difficult. But I assure you, we are on your side.
He sits down on her bed and just staring at that window.
What time is it?
Now it's a little after 9.
I'm going to close that window. And we're going to make our way out of here.
Okay. And go where?
Well, we have another meeting at 10. And we have a diary to read.
I'll get there early and read the diary.
Yeah. So I'll give Astrid the diary to read over. And while I start to Stockholm, as big as I think it is. So I am going to start making a mental note of the different thieves guilds, operations in this area of those who would be in the knowledge of kidnappings and things of that nature, and then start thinking about how I'm going to contact them.
The man, Henrik, who you were going to meet at 10, despite his current apparent being very well off, in the past was known for having his hands in forgery, smuggling, any number of dark deeds.
You say dark deeds, I think fine art.
So he might be able to point you in the direction of where you may need to direct your queries. So you're headed to his,
Yep.
I won't say mansion, but it's not far off. It's a very, very nice house. Servant answers the door.
Hand him the card.
Ah, you are expected, though you are early. Please come in.
Please and thank you. If your master's not ready to meet with us, do you have a parlor we might make ourselves comfortable in until he's ready? We showing up so early.
Absolutely, it's right this way.
Thank you so much.
Shows you in. Would you like tea?
Oh, yes, of course.
Closes the parlor doors, leaving the two of you alone for the moment.
Said about turning up the lantern, so...
Start with the most recent entry and work my way back until I find something interesting.
Most recent entry. The way he whispers my name, it brings a chill to my skin, goosebumps. I oh so hope he returns again tomorrow night.
You taking notes on that for your own writing?
And then going backwards from that, it would appear she was receiving visitations nightly, from what she describes as a boy of perhaps her own age, 12, 13, maybe 14. His personality making that difficult to judge. Sometimes he is very short and easy to anger, and other times very, very eloquent and soothing. Her belief is that initially he was a chimney sweep, and now believes he is something else altogether when she describes his wondrous ability to fly.
I tell you all of this.
And does that track with anything we've seen before? Any legends that we've heard? Young man, adolescent that can fly, second story, and has an infatuation with little girls.
I will not make you make a learning check because no.
Okay. This is a new one. It obviously passes for human.
Mm-hmm. And there is mention of, repeatedly it would seem, he is trying to cajole her into coming with him to his home on an island.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a closer island than Bakula, which is in Kamir, which is to the south of here, I believe?
If there are, they'd be so small as to be not really on a map. Stockholm itself is a port city, so I mean, none that you're aware of.
Okay. Well, you recently had the one dream. We've had other things.
But yes, Blockula from Stockholm is, by coach, you're looking at hours.
Okay. All right.
Checking your watch as you've been going through all this. Then you look at the clock in the corner. It's 5 minutes past 10.
It's 5 minutes past 10.
Yes.
We'll get up, and while she continues to research, and I will go to the door and open it up.
Coming down the steps is the servant who let you in. Oh, my apologies. The master is not answering my calls, and the door is locked to his den.
Is that normal?
It is not. Perhaps you and your lady friend would like to return tomorrow.
Well, I was under the impression that this was a grave importance and a matter that couldn't wait, and the fact that he is not answering you fills me with a little bit of worry.
Perhaps,
Has anybody approached him lately? In a manner that is aggressive?
not that he has made me aware of. He had his semi-regular game of cards with some gentlemen friends.
To this evening?
Yes.
And did they all leave?
Yes.
And how long ago was that?
They left perhaps an hour ago.
And you have not heard from him since? Did you see him after the card game?
Yes, he said he was retiring to his den and that you were expected and to let you in and send you up at the appointed hour.
Oh, well then, send us up.
But sir, I've just said the door is locked and he is not answering.
Well, then I will have to get his attention. I've traveled a long way and I will not be put off.
That's fair.
Uppsala to Stockholm is not just a day trip, sir. I will see your master if I have to pound upon that door until he awakens from whatever revelry he's been involved in this evening.
Of course, sir. Right this way. Will the lady be accompanying us?
Astrid, do you have time to take away from your book? Or?
Yes.
Very well.
He quickly leads you up the spiral stairs, down the hall. There's a large oaken door. Sir? Sir? Your visitors are here, sir. Hello?
Henrik!
He steps back.
You invited me to your home. I've arrived. It's been a long day. I've been involved in an investigation. I've dealt with the constables, and I will not be put off any further. What is your name, sir?
George.
George? George, coffee. I believe that the master has imbibed himself a bit much during his card game. So please.
Of course. Shall I bring 3 cups?
Please. Get yourself one.
Thank you, sir. Rushes down the steps, leaving the two of you alone.
Pulling out the lockpicks that we kept from the last session. That was of no bandages, but right.
I will keep a lookout.
Then give me that stealth roll.
Stealth it is.
And if I recall, they give you a +1.
Yes. There's the one. There's the one for the thing. And the stealth is precision, which is these 2. Here we go. A success! It has happened! We needed one, we got one. Holy cow!
Bent down and you're starting to feel that beat of sway, like, oh, come on.
The arthritis.
This used to be so easy, and then finally, click.
What's even harder than getting the lock open is getting back up. Put myself on the cane. And,
All right, old man, let's go.
get a little rickety. Open the door.
Push the door open. A breeze hits you along with a scent. Double window. There's a large desk here. The double window behind it is open. And face down on the desk is a male form. That is where the scent is coming from. As you step closer, the back of the head is got a sizable hole in it, and there's blood pooling all over.
I was going to check for a pulse till he said that.
Hope that medicine roller is really good, because we didn't get the bandages again. And you said, is the window open?
Yes.
And
He said he saw him after the card game, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Does it appear to be a bullet hole?
Looks like it.
Okay. Is there a lantern or lighting in this room?
There is a lit lantern over on the mantle.
If I can
It's
pull it
portable.
out, pull it out, turn it up a little bit, and it's looking like one of those days. And we'll begin investigating, waiting for Gorsh to return with the coffee and get ready to explain what the hell he's seeing.
Give me those investigation rolls.
Oh boy.
Oh, I meant negative ones. Nope.
Two successes.
This is all of this in one day is just a bit much for your senses. You just kind of have to.
Just go stand over here for a second.
You, on the other hand,
This is a valuable associate. He made some of the absolute best forged documents that I've ever used, and his loss is not going to be taken lightly. Someone shall pay. There was a real reason I was in Stockholm.
the corner of the desk, there is a small box, about the size of a matchbox, perhaps. It is atop a paper that blood is quickly
Going to
beginning
snatch.
The only thing on the paper is your name.
Going to put that in my pocket. The box, is there anything in it?
Sounds like it. You gonna open it?
Yes.
It looks like some kind of bug.
Live, dead, taxidermied, formaldehyded, stuck through with a pin.
Encased in amber.
Ooh.
It is not encased in amber. And it first, you're like, what is that, a cockroach? What is that, a cricket? What is it? And it does move a bit, and the head shifts to look at you, and the eyes are abnormal.
And close.
You close it.
Put that in a pocket.
Give me a learning roll real quick.
Do. All right, dice. Here's a chance. Success! All right, just the one, but hey, it was real easy to see for once.
As you close that box and put it in your breast pocket, you've read about something like this
Uh-oh.
in the library of Castle Gillinkruts. What was it called? Spirit? No, Spiritus.
Spiritus. I say Spiritus out loud.
Does that jog my memory?
It does. Because when he found it, he pointed it out to you. He's like, look at this. This is completely outside of anything we've ever experienced. A spiritus is apparently a demonic, it's a thing from hell. At least that is what it claims.
I'm not going to put that next to my heart. I'm gonna find someone else with that.
You must spit upon it daily to keep it alive.
Oh.
But by doing so and keeping it on your person, you will be granted wondrous abilities.
At what cost?
Your soul, probably.
That's negotiable.
Initially, none.
Oh, I like that. Wait, is this a 6 month
But its
free
magic
financing plan?
can leach out every time you use it. That can cause changes.
So maybe somebody that went from being a pretty good forager to now all of a sudden selling a bunch of paintings and having a small McMansion.
That would definitely fall within line of what a spiritist can do.
Okay.
Good fortune, great strength, seductive abilities, you name it. It can grant you all sorts of things, turn you into a whole new person. But there's a problem. One, the leeching of the magic. As I said, if that happens, it's not good.
Okay.
It can start to change you. Make you ugly, perhaps grow a third eye, any number of horrible things.
Well,
Can it kill?
Not the first owner. So if you give it away to someone else, then they start to benefit from it
but they have to spit on it.
daily to keep it alive,
And if they don't, it just dies.
supposedly. But if they then give it away, the third owner cannot get rid of it,
Okay.
and it will take control.
Now, being dead and picking it up off of a desk, does that make you the new? Like, he didn't give me anything.
From what you read, what little they know about it, the third owner can't give it away.
Okay.
It won't allow it.
Gotcha. So he may have been the third owner. What happens to the fourth guy that has it? Does he just start over?
No one knows.
Okay. Well,
But the only way to be rid of it, if you're the third owner, well, there are only two ways.
I'm going to go with death is one.
Correct. Or living a good Christian life.
Oh. So death.
And it's not
That's
like
the
an
only way out of
overnight
it.
thing. That would be years and years of...
Torturous hell.
Well, he's living a good Christian life and not using its powers? Or you're using its powers and living a Christian life?
If you're living a good Christian life, you wouldn't use the power.
Yes.
All right.
I'm guessing he wasn't a Christian.
No.
Okay.
No, well, not a good one. No, a lot of the people that I have dealings with would not fall into any of those principles whatsoever.
And beyond that, you are fairly certain that this is a gunshot wound. You're looking at is probably from a revolver, handgun. You heard no report of any gun, and this looks to be fairly recent.
Gotcha.
And it was in the back of the head, right? Not like he could do it himself.
Look at, go to the window that's open and see if we see a sooty footprint or handprints, but anything else, like, is this is, well, we've traveled up, so this is obviously at least the second story. There are vines, ladders, footholds.
I mean, the other's a trellis. It's
Okay.
unlike the other home you just came from. This could be climbed with someone of decent ability.
You gotta see, is there any signs of stress on the trellis, if there's any plants or foliage on it, or footprints or marks coming up or down it that we can see?
You're finding nothing.
Okay.
I'm assuming you didn't find a gun either.
Goes,
No gun.
Is there any smell of gunpowder?
No.
Is there any other things in any other entrances into the room? The door, the window. Is there any way else that someone else could get in or out of this room?
Not that you can see. No.
And it looks like the entrance wound is through the back of the head.
Mhm.
Is there anything? Is there any exit wounds? Yeah.
With a sickening,
Yep. Peel that up.
sucking sound, you move the head, and it did exit the forehead. And it looks as though this makes you think even more so it had to be a revolver round because they're soft rounds. They expand once they hit.
Mm-hmm.
This exit wound is far larger.
Okay, that makes sense then.
And
Would you like to make a medicine roll on any of this to see if...
you rolled 2 successes on your investigation, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, across the room and in the wall.
The bullet? Okay.
And that confirms, yes, this is a revolver round. It flattened. That's what caused the huge exit wound.
Gotcha.
And the revolver would not have the accuracy required unless you were really, really,
Really close.
really good. And down below, and he just happened to...
All right. Then to take a look around the room and see if there's anything else that might be missing, if there's any place where there's dust and an outline showing that something might have been there on a shelf or something. See if there's anything that's been stolen. The bug thing wasn't stolen, it appears, which seems to me that would have been a thing to have taken. But, try to look around and see if there's obviously something that is amiss. An easel with nothing on it.
Looking around.
A jimmied drawer that looks like it's been... Well, they shot him in the head. So, yes, I would say a jimmied drawer that's been pried open. Anything of that nature.
You're not seeing anything that would show you there's been anything taken or moved. But when you cross past a mirror, you know how after a certain amount of time, any type of glass can get kind of a film on it. As you pass this mirror, it has said film, and it looks as though someone has taken a finger and written, "Leave me alone." And not like quick, fast, good writing. This is like a shaky hand desperately trying to finish every word.
Okay.
You mentioned a smell. Can I place the smell? Like
That was the blood.
the blood? Okay.
It's very coppery. Okay. Is there any writing on anything? Anything of that nature? Are there any clues we're missing that should be obvious to us that we should have seen?
Not that you're aware of.
Okay. Again, looking outside.
George comes upstairs and you... Let's see. Can he avoid dropping?
I
He
hope so.
cannot.
Oh.
Drops the tray with the coffee and it hits. Porcelain shatters. He staggers back into the hall and runs. You hear him going back downstairs.
I'll go follow him.
You follow him downstairs. He's thrown the front doors open and is just yelling, "Police! Help! There's been a killing! Help!"
Do the pull out the little piece of paper that's got my name on it and do the pencil rub over it to see if there's anything else that might pop up on that.
No.
All right, we're going to eat that piece of paper. We're not going to burn it. We're not going to rip it in little shreds. We're literally, while nobody's here, going to take that piece of paper and eat it.
Okay.
That one's not coming back to bite me in the ass. Yep. Oh, I got my little flask. I'm gonna take a drink. All right. I think we've studied this room as best we can. If there's any clues or anything I'm supposed to find, I don't know what they are now.
Pretty
So-
sure you found all there is to find.
All right.
And before long, given this neighborhood, the police are far quicker to suddenly come running. It's not just a single one as before. You've got about 5 of them, all of which are now making their way back to the house.
I'll be trying to clean up the coffee spill as best I can.
And you were with George, yes?
Yes, I would have asked him if he heard a gunshot.
No, ma'am, nothing.
Okay.
Is that what happened?
He appears to be shot in the head, yes.
As the police are going, they're questioning both of you. George knows obviously very little. It was a gunshot. You heard it? I did not. But she said it was. They all look at you as they're en masse. You're all moving back toward the house. You heard the shot?
No, I didn't hear the shot. We forced our way into the room when he did not answer because we were worried about his well-being and saw that he was shot.
Devious work, this. You hear boots trampling up the steps now, multiple steps, as you're picking
Cleaning
up
up
pieces
coffee as
of...
best I can. Pieces of coffee cups.
All right, who's this then?
My name is Egil.
He's my acquaintance that I was telling you about. That.
Yes, they came to visit, and they were able to get in the locked room. Had to
Well-
force it, did you?
It was stuck.
Ah, look at this. Yeah, obvious. Someone shot him from down there.
From down where?
Outside. This man got any enemies you know of? No, not that I know of.
He's sitting at a desk.
What's that?
He's sitting at a desk.
Not no more. No, he's dead.
Okay, but you're saying he was shot from down there. I'll point through that open window
Yeah,
at his desk.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
exactly it does.
Yeah.
How is it gonna happen?
Somebody climbed up here, entered the room, put a gun to the back of his head, and shot him?
What fantasy is this? One of them's looking out the window. I ain't seeing no sign of no one out there. Ain't no one gonna climb up. Look at this. Clear view. Ain't no one gonna do that. Right.
How
Where you two from?
Uppsala.
And what were you doing here?
Well, we're meeting Mr. Renchek to see about some paintings, possibly a portrait of my associate here.
Right then. And what was your name?
Astrid von Lundstrom.
So if you're not from here, are you staying here in Stockholm?
At the Hotel Stockholm.
All right then. I'll have to ask you to step. There's a parlor here, yes? Oh, of course. I'll have to ask you two to step out of the parlor. We got to do our proper investigation.
Of course.
Right, men? You know what to do? Picking stuff up.
Just gonna go back down to the parlor.
You head back down. George, I'll get that coffee.
You know what? Why don't we go to the kitchen?
Okay. He leads you into the kitchen.
Is the coffee stuff there?
Yeah.
All right.
He starts.
Do I know how to make coffee?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, George, just sit down.
What?
Sit down. I'll go to making the coffee. You've had a terrible scare tonight. It appears your nerves are on end. Please, sit. Take a second. Breathe.
This is most kind of you, sir.
Do you have any family nearby?
I have a sister.
And how long have you worked for my friend here,
Oh, only
Mr. Rost?
3 years now.
3 years. That is
I was with him in the beginning.
oh,
He was,
up and coming.
yeah, didn't have much to his name at all. And suddenly, well, at first he looks around. He had relations with that princess, and then sold a number of his paintings, made quite a bit of good coin, bought this place.
Which princess?
Couldn't seem to do no wrong. From Norway,
Oh, the Norway princess.
Cynthia, I believe.
The Ice Queen. Or Princess. Sorry that they broke that off.
Yeah, it was... He seemed off of late. Not quite himself. Who do you think did this?
Mr. S did accumulate quite a bit of money and had relations with a princess. There's no telling.
You think the royalty did this, the monarchy?
I mean, if they didn't want them together.
Ah, knew it.
Sometimes.
Always stepping on the common man.
Exactly. Just can't let the heart have what the heart wants. If only he'd been of royal blood. I'll prep him his coffee, throw in a dash of my flask. So now, to your employee in the near future, we should seek out you an engagement somewhere.
Yeah. Starting over is always hard.
It is, but I am sure Mr. Rast has left you a letter that we can locate that probably speaks of your praises.
I don't know about all that. Like I said, he's been off and on acting a bit weird.
Really? In what manner?
Well, I mentioned to you his card game. The fellas he'd normally play with passed 3 times now. It's not been them fellas. Been different. People I'd never met before.
Really? Did they have particular accents? Did they look like they were from the area?
Well,
Look
one
like
fella.
Royals?
One fella, I remember hearing him talking. One was Austrian.
Austrian fellow.
I believe the rest were Swedish. Yeah, I believe the rest were Swedish.
They seem well heeled.
The Austrian fellow, is the way he carried himself. He's more had a physicality about him, unlike the others. Like he can handle himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from what I overheard, serving, one had, as he put it, business in the shadows. I don't know what that means. The Austrian fella, apparently some kind of big game hunter or something. And then, Mr. Johansson, he makes his money in shipping. And Dolk was the last fella's name. I believe he was in textiles. Kept always talking about bolts of cloth this, bolts of cloth that. Not the normal people.
That he kept company with at his card game. Do I know of a crew that sounds like this? I mean, this sounds to me like a potential heist crew or a criminal organization with shipping and body guy and
I mean, it makes sense that would be what...
Sounds like the kind of stuff I'd worked with him in the past on.
Only you don't know any of these guys, but that does, hearing their supposed trades, that you're right, it would make a sort of sense depending on what kind of job they were planning. And then the reason the Austrian sticks in my mind so well is because I was made to, well, we handed over a good sum of money to him.
And what did he provide for this exchange?
Well, according to Mr. Rast, it was a prepayment.
For anything in particular that he mentioned? Would Mr. Rast have kept a receipt book somewhere? Diary, notes, ledgers?
At one time, I Those are generally away from my eyes. Probably be up there in the study, though.
I didn't see anything like that when I was perusing any of that. And none of it looked like it might have been a place for it, but had been removed. Okay. All right. Okay. Go about making him some eggs and making us some food, just some very simple affair of whatnot.
You do that, and as the three of you are in the midst of eating, you hear the bootsteps coming down the stairs. One of the police officers walks in.
I'll have a cup of coffee ready and hand it to him.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got doctors coming in, going to take the body in, take a look at it, though it seems pretty cut and dry. Shot from the back of the head.
From down below.
We're going to ask around, see if anyone noticed anything strange, any individuals that shouldn't have been around but were. Rest assured, we'll find this person.
I have all the faith in the world.
I've got your address of where you're currently staying. Are you planning on leaving back to Uppsala anytime soon?
I think that there's a possibility that we'll be visiting Cormier.
Kalma?
Yes. That's the one.
And when might that be?
I do believe that we were thinking about leaving for tomorrow. However, if we need to make ourselves available, of course we will.
We can always come back after our visit.
What's the hotel in, where is it? Come on. Yeah. You could reach us at the hotel.
Very well. I don't believe we'll be requiring you any further, as you were in the house attempting to get in. I don't believe either of you two are the ones that pulled the trigger. But if we have any questions,
we will look to be available and to clear things up as quickly as possible for the sake of figuring out who has murdered Mr. Rost.
Very good. All right, then. You there, what was your name, George? Yes? Gonna be a bit of noise as we're taking the body out. Probably have one of our investigators coming in, do another double take. But beyond that, once we're done, you can close up here and take care of whatever has to be taken care of. My condolences. Night to you. Turns and leaves.
Good evening.
You just hear a sigh come from George. Terrible way to go.
Yes, I agree. Alas. Poor Rast. Well, how can we help you?
Sir?
How can we help you? What can we do to help you this evening?
Oh, sir, you've done too much already. I'll take care of this. Once they're done, there's the blood I gotta clean up. And then, I'll have to contact the solicitor, see if any arrangements had been made, and if not, see what has to be done. This is all new to me.
Well, I would like to spend the rest of the evening here until they take the body away and make sure that the investigator does a thorough job that comes to finish up, as well as have a chance myself to say my goodbyes to Mr. Rast and honestly just the energy and the spirit that I feel within this building. I want to be closer to my friend for this last evening. It'll depart soon. The smell, the feelings, that'll all be gone.
You're welcome to stay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I need to busy myself. If you'll excuse me.
Of course.
He gets up.
We'll be about.
Of course. Should you need anything, just holler. He heads out, leaving the two of you in the kitchen. What are you doing?
Sorry about your friend.
Again, he was an artiste. Such a waste. However, I feel that this very likely has nothing to do with the little girl, Clara, missing. I think that Mr. Rast has involved himself in
Something
a
higher
world
than
of shenanigans that he got over his head in. So, but it doesn't seem right to let it stand, even though he was an older associate of mine, and we haven't had dealings in several years. I don't feel right letting someone who I've worked with in the past be treated in this manner. There must be a comeuppance for those who would to dare do such a thing. So we, as far as I'm concerned, we have 2 investigations to look into.
Yes.
Fortunately for us, Clara's shall take precedence, for I would hope that she is still alive and can be brought back. Mr. Rast, unfortunately, his justice will have to be cold.
So what are you doing now?
I'm gonna sit and ruminate on my memento, my silver ring. Try to calm myself.
And a cup of coffee.
Doing that with him there.
And an omelet.
Food, drink, his presence, that calms you,
My
removes the
presence,
condition.
see? Do I know of the history of Mr. Rast? As he got family? Anybody that was close to him? Obviously, he was dating a princess recently, but from my couple of years ago, this is all recent, and now I assume has everything to do with the bug from hell being the reason. Because when I knew him, he was a very good forger and that kind of thing, and a mediocre everything else. And seems like in the last time I've met him till now, he has come into his own, which I can only assume has to deal with owning this
He
infernal
had, from back
creation.
then, he had a sister named Isla who did not approve of his life of forgery and whatnot. He would always come in partially complaining, but also you got the impression he kind of enjoyed it. The fact that she would continually harangue him over the fact that he had artistic ability and he was wasting it as a forger. He should be having paintings in museums, not wasting his time doing something that could very well get him landed in prison. That is the only relation he had that you were aware of.
Okay.
But she was living here in Stockholm.
Okay. Make sure that the body's taken out, wait for the secondary investigator to come by.
Yeah, you hear the drumming of boots. You can go out and look. You can see them. They've got the body wrapped and are taking it down the steps and out into a wagon. The investigator that comes in, he's not wearing the blue and gold uniform of the others. He's more plain clothes, but well dressed. The one police officer who did most of the speaking to you is the one who leads him up into the study. Are you going to follow up?
I am.
Who's he? He was the one I was telling you about, the one that, he and his lady friend discovered the body.
My associate. Egil Renberg of the Uppsala Renbergs.
And what is your relationship to the deceased?
We were discussing a portrait that he was going to create of my associate. He is quite a known painter, oils, and we were discussing the sittings, how many hours, the financial how long till delivery.
When's the last time you spoke with him?
Well, I actually bumped into him at the Stockholm Museum this afternoon, and that's when he invited me over tonight to finalize the details for the process. And it turns out it is quite a complicated process to get a portrait from such a well-known artist.
I never heard
Down
of him.
payment, and there's a final payment, and there's approvals, and again, sittings. And
As you're saying all this, he's walking around the desk and goes over to the window. He's looking out, looking back at the chair. So your business with him was just that, business. You weren't friendly with the man?
No, not particularly. I heard that there was a card game tonight. Unfortunately, I was not invited to that.
Card game. Fetch that, the butler.
Georges.
Sorry?
His name is Georges.
Fetch George. Is there anything else?
Oh, no. No, we were just making sure George is made as comfortable as possible. He seems to be a bit out of sorts, of course.
Yes, that's all very sad. If you'll excuse me, I do have an investigation I
Please.
intend to conduct. I do not need
So?
gawkers.
Oh, of course we'll.
Turn on my heel and exit.
As you're heading down the steps, the officer is bringing George up the steps. Where are you going? What are you doing?
The parlor!
To the parlor.
It's a nice parlor. Got
is
to
a nice
get used
parlor.
to it. Yeah, we're just going to wait till they're all done and
Okay. It's a few hours' time. Then finally,
once they're all gone, make my way back upstairs and do one last perusal after they're all said and done to see if there's anything that I might have missed, anything of that nature. And does Mr. Rast have any stationery?
he does.
I'm going to purloin some of his stationery as
You know
well
it tastes horrible.
Huh?
You know that it tastes horrible.
Yes, all right. Well, I'm going to take some of that with me and, just make sure yep, that's about all I've got then, because I think we did a pretty thorough investigation before they got here. So once I have that and, look around. Is there any other samples of his writing?
It looks as though he had dabbled in poetry.
Okay, I will also take that with me.
Okay.
All goes into a satchel. And just stationery and some examples of his writing, just in case I should have to forge his material here in the near future.
All right.
And I think it's finally time to go back to our hotel at like 3 a.m. or whatever.
It's pretty late. And it has been a exhausting day, to say the least. So once your heads hit the pillow, it's almost instantaneous. To the point where the sun shining in on your faces is a bit of a rude awakening come morning. What are your plans on this day?
Well, I believe that, are we still dealing with Clara? That are focusing on our investigation into the disappearance of the young girl.
I
Is
think
our
we should go to the
focus.
island.
The island? The only issue with that is it just seems like a really far away. Like a carriage ride would be, said, a couple of hours. So I'm just leery. I mean, she wanted him to go.
I
mentioned
believe
going-
the number is 268 kilometers away.
I mean, but there's no other nearby island that we can think of that might match up to anything like that. I mean, you've had your dream. It seems like that's the direction that we should go. So I'll arrange a carriage for the morning, and we will be off to, yes, that place.
I see. As you've arranged for the carriage, got everything set, you're heading through Stockholm to leave the great city, just looking at the various edifices passing by.
Oh, it's just in.
And there's an alleyway of sorts. It's kind of a dark, I'm not sure if it's actually an alley or an actual street. But you can just, as the sun is still rising, and just as it gets enough over a building to give illumination as you're passing, there appears to be a rundown tavern down this street named Blackula.
Oh. Use the cane to tap the carriage wall.
Sir?
Pull over, driver.
Comes to a stop at the side of the road. Something the matter?
Well,
Gastrointestinal issues.
Yes. As you get to this age, sometimes you just can't hold it.
Oh, there's an alley over there.
Yes, thank you, sir. Here, give him. Please wait. This could be a few minutes.
Okay, sir.
And so we'll head to the island of this bar.
It is run down. The sign is a bit rotted. The name itself is not whitewash paint. It's actually looks like it's been burnt into the wood. And it is currently closed.
Okay.
Not unusual for early morning for a tavern.
Sure. If there's windows, I'm gonna peer in.
Due to the amount of grime, it's somewhat difficult. You can just make out a bar, a few tables, chairs. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Is there anything that establishes when it will open?
No.
No?
Jiggle the handle.
It is locked.
Do you not wish to wait till it opens? See, getting down.
Is there any evidence that it looks like anybody is in here right now? Like if we were to gain entry?
Is it a second story? Is it...
There's a second story, and you know, just from past experience, most of these buildings on this road will have cellars or basements.
Okay. Well, time is of the essence, and this
And
little
actually,
girl's in
Stockholm
danger.
was the beginning, so... Yeah, the sewage system began in 72, so some of these buildings may actually have inadvertent access to the sewer system as well.
That's just great.
If you'll place your back right about here,
Yep.
that'll block that vision point from right there, and I will pull out the lockpicks and begin to try and get inside. Is that stealth?
That is stealth.
One for that.
Extra die for the lockpicks.
One for the lockpick, and stealth is based on...
You're watching as the
Precision.
number of carriages and just passersby. No one's really glancing in your direction. You should be safe.
Nothing! And I don't know that is a roll that I am eager to push with only 4 dice. Yep.
I mean, you could always try and force it.
Is there a window, a glass door, something of that nature?
There are windows on either side, yes.
See if a window opens.
They're not locked, but they're not wanting to move. I'll need a force roll to get them.
Gotcha.
Nope.
That's about what I'm about to do. Well, why not?
I figured it wasn't
Together.
happening,
Hey!
Hey!
A success from the old man. See, all you
I
need...
loosened it for you.
All you need is a big enough lever, and you can move the world as I use my cane.
Seems to echo down the alley. You pause for a second, Sounds of traffic does not stop out beyond the entrance of the street alley, so no one seems to have heard you.
I will hold the door open.
Right in. And then I'll open the door for him.
Unlock the door from the inside, open it up. Yes, the interior is grimy, greasy, scent of beer and vomit and sweat.
Like frequent patrons and they just don't clean, or like it hasn't been cleaned in a really long time, or it hasn't been used in a really long time.
No, some of the, there's a few pools here and there of beer. So you're guessing as early, just last night, there had to have been someone in here.
I'm going to close the door behind us and re-lock it. Seems like we constantly end up in basements, sub-basements, and root cellars. Shall we just make our way there now?
Oh, sure.
Did you go to your satchel?
Shut the window.
Is there a crossbow in there?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, the crossbow is like this.
It's on my back.
All right.
I mean, theoretically, if you're going...
I was going to take it to the island.
So I guess you can run back to the carriage, because right now he's still waiting.
Sure.
So, okay. Just the normal walking around, that would not be permissible. You'll be stopped immediately.
Sure. Yep. Pour myself. Is there alcohol available?
Hmm?
Yeah. Refill my flask from their stock. Pour myself a beer. Yeah. Just wait for her to return. Make myself comfortable.
Both of you give me an observation roll.
Boom. I need to find a thing that gives me a bonus on that. I'm gonna push it because I want to make a roll. I'm gonna push it again.
You can only push it once.
Nope. All right. God damn it.
Is that an angry
I
condition?
get a little angry.
I got a 2.
She got 2 successes. I should have just left it, but I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of dice. I'm tired of never getting any rolls in this game.
So you're just kind of walking around, looking, listening. He's over here trying to fill his flask, and then the lever on the spigot snaps off.
God damn.
And now it's pouring over your hand. Your flask is full, and now it's pouring all over the ground. God damn. And you hear a board creak above you.
Ouch. Crouch down.
You're able to track it because it started here, there, and you can just see it's a very, very narrow aperture, but it looks there could be a stairwell leading down into the corner of that far wall. Sounds like whatever's up there is heading in that direction, and you get the impression they're trying to be quiet. And still,
I'll assist him in the stoppage of the... and
Push
then
a rag up against it, like, but eventually it'll
stuff
empty.
the... Cut the line to the keg.
You got something.
I hear someone. Starts here, goes down there. I think there's a stairwell.
Okay.
They're trying to be quiet.
We are breaking and entering.
But they're trying to be quiet.
Well, it's because they think so. This might be But all right, let's go take care of this.
I have my crossbow at the ready.
I have my cane in my hand. That's a little sticky right now.
crossbow at the ready. Are you trying to hide?
Yes.
Where? Behind the bar?
Yeah. I crouched down behind the bar and
Okay, and you?
Sure, crouched down next to him.
Stealth rolls.
sure, that's a thing. People do it all the time.
Nope.
I mean, I don't do it all the time, but somebody does it all the time.
No successes, huh?
No.
You think you're hitting
Sure.
maybe? And from around, right, as I said, that small aperture, you see first the end of looks to be a musket. And
So we
then-
see, but we do see it coming around.
Yes.
Okay, well,
And then as they turn,
This is gonna make you uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
they see the two of you.
And I kiss him.
I feel very uncomfortable. Get,
Give me a manipulation roll.
One, two.
Hi! No shagging in here!
Hey!
How the hell did you get in here? You
Door's open.
It's a female, looks to be of Asian descent. She lowers the musket down.
We're celebrating.
Not here, you're not.
Yes, it's party. Come
She
on.
shoulders
Drinks
the-
on me.
She shoulders the musket, goes to the door, opens it up. Out!
this doesn't seem like a very good place to have a party at all.
Out.
Oh, well, party's over.
What time do you guys open?
Now she hears the keg had finally poured out enough to the point where you'd have to like tilt it now to get any more out of it, but it's still dripping.
We are very drunk.
So is the floor.
I don't.
Floors don't drink.
That's silly.
You've got two options here.
Oh,
One,
Oh.
you pay for all that's on the floor.
That's a
Or
lot.
two,
Uh-huh.
you get the hell out.
Oh, 2. We'll take 2.
Out then.
All right, goodbye.
Stumble.
Hey,
Over exaggerating stumble.
hey, you haven't. There's no little kid that works here, right? We're looking for William. He's about 14 years old. Looks like this.
Oh yeah, he was funny.
He was so good. He
He
told us all about
was.
this place.
Yeah, that's why we want to party
He's the one who
here.
told us, like, hey, if you're getting hitched, you should start right here.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a chimney sweep.
Yeah. Soot.
A lot of soot.
Yeah, a little kitty smudge soot.
I need an observation roll from both of you, please.
I am kind of angry.
3!
3 successes?
Yeah.
Oh. 1!
Good job.
You see her kind of start a bit when you say the word William. You see that, but also notice she starts darting her eyes around, like she's almost afraid someone else might have heard you say that name.
He just had the chubbiest cheeks.
He was so cute.
Don't say that name again. Get out of here.
But he's our friend and we want to see
He's the
him.
one that told us to come here. All right, hey.
He ain't no one's friend.
No.
All right.
Look, you see him again?
Uh-huh.
Word of advice?
Uh-huh.
Run.
I will now use my cane to try and bash the thing away, as I am much more interested in this now. So is that force?
Be close combat.
Close combat. That's a 0.
Let's calm down.
And then that's physique.
Kane will give you 1.
2. And my trusty cane. This is my trusty cane die.
Can I do some type of distracting thing to give him an advantage?
Ooh.
Okay, we didn't get any successes. We're only rolling 3 dice. But it feels like it's an important roll. I'm already angry.
What are you going to do to distract her?
Like, roll up on her with her, put my arm around her, and just get up real close to her ear. Just be like, we just really like to have fun. And William seemed like he wanted to have fun too.
The distraction is not necessarily what you intended, because she realizes as you're right in her face and your breath hits her, there is no alcohol on your breath. But I'll give you a +1 for that.
All right, so I'm going to push it with 4 dice. Please don't screw me. Woo! 2 successes! Holy cow! I don't know how excited I am about those 2 successes. Probably the most excited 2 successes I've had the entire campaign so far.
So your attempt was to what? Knock the...
Yeah, I used the cane to bash it away. Maybe even 2 successes. I'm going to try to say I hit her hand so she drops it.
That is exactly what occurred, because she turns to her and starts to say something, and then ha! And it clatters to the ground.
If I can react quick enough, I want to try to grab it.
Give me a force roll. Well, actually, agility. We'll see which of you is faster.
Do it! You did it! Well, I don't know what she might have done it
1
better,
success.
but...
I realized I had 2 fingers up, but 1.
It hits the ground. Both of you dive for it. And you're able to stiff armor and get your hand on it and roll away with it before she can get a hold of it.
No, very sober-like.
Yep.
Not quite so drunk now, huh?
No.
No, and we want to know all about William.
And that's where we're going to end it.
Yay!